All right, boys. This heist we're working on. It's a good heist. I think we have a good chance of heisting all the money for Heistvember that we're doing.
One thing, we're going to need some masks for this heist.
That's a good point.
We can't go in there showing our faces.
Yeah, that's true.
What about Predator masks, like Alien vs. Predator?
Like child molester? I don't know.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeff Epstein. You'll be Jeff Epstein. I'll be Jared from...
Oh, and I'll be the principal from...
Ferris Bueller. He took mine.
Yeah.
Jeffrey something.
You could be...
Another Jeffrey.
Who's that golfer that Cedar Point is named after?
Sandusky.
Sandusky.
Another Cedar Point is named after
the football coach.
Anyways, this heist plan... I'm going to leave this all in. This heist plan... what were you saying about wearing masks?
Well, I said we could do predators, but maybe someone's got a better idea. Predator masks might be a little hard to find. Anyone got any other ideas for masks?
I can do this.
Maybe nuns. Like in Ben Affleck's The Town.
His second directorial debut, The Town.
Nice.
Wild.
Welcome back to Heistvember, folks. We're doing a big heist this week. We're talking Ben Affleck's The Town, starring Ben Affleck, and we got a great guest speakers to talk with us. Brad's here, Gunnar is here, Riley again joining us. Thank you both for coming.
You're
Brad,
very welcome.
Brad,
This I can't see. Oh, did you fart?
Oh no.
Also co-written by Ben Affleck.
Co-written.
Who did the big writing, man?
Yeah, who did the actual writing?
Casey.
Probably
Ed Solomon.
maybe the guy who wrote the book that it's based off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
also
That's
based
a good
off a
question.
book. Fair,
Yes,
fair.
also based off of a book similar to Heat, which
Heat was based off Heat, but The Town is based off of Prince of Thieves.
Prince of Thieves.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it was a big movie. Ben Affleck's second directorial debut.
Second debut.
Gone Baby Gone was his first. I don't know what that movie is. I don't know.
Something baby.
It's not about babies.
You are right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that.
It's the threequel to the Boss Baby, and then Baby Driver, and then Gone Baby Gone.
Right, correct.
Of
yep.
course.
Mm-hmm. Who could forget the legendary Baby Trilogy?
The baby trilogy.
Ben Affleck's Baby Trilogy.
Ben Affleck's Baby Trilogy.
It should be in the Criterion.
Yeah.
I have all the. I have the entire collection on Steelbook.
I got the limited release.
What did you guys think of this movie? This is your favorite movie?
One of. It's up there for sure. I've always loved heist movies, so this is a
Heistvember
wonderful.
is the perfect time of
my
year.
favorite time of year, Heistvember. My favorite time to do heistly activities.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first time I saw The Town, I immediately fell in love with it. I love the characters. I think it's very well written. I think the action is great. Pretty much everything a heist movie needs, it's got in there.
Boston accents.
Yes, the Boston accents are wonderful.
For sure.
And I have a feeling the love interest lady just couldn't do one, so he had to be like, "Where you from?" And she had to give her a whole story.
Blake Lively or Jennifer Garner?
Who's
Or it's not Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
It's
the one the witness?
the brunette one. It's not Jennifer Garner.
It's,
It's,
I know her name too, but I can't think of it
yeah.
right now. Fucking that chick, Joseph put in something other that she was in.
Yes. She looks like a lot of other actresses.
Yeah.
Yes, that I did clock.
I think that's why I said Jennifer Garner, is because Jennifer Garner also looks like a lot of other actresses.
Fucking, what was her name? Why can't I remember it? I'm not gonna look it up, but I'll say it eventually.
We'll get there.
Yeah, Gunnar, do you like this movie?
I think it's great.
Gunner also, she doesn't do a Boston accent because she's not from Boston.
I know, so I'm saying that's when the actress
wrote around
couldn't
it.
do it, so they had to write around it and be like, "Oh, we'll make you from somewhere else."
It's
But
based on a book, so
Yeah.
What do you mean right around it?
that's true.
They had to write around it for in Dr. No when Sean Connery was cast. Ian Fleming, he had to, in the books, what do they call it, retcon? He had to retcon that James Bond was Scottish because Sean Connery, is
couldn't
voice.
turn it down.
Yeah, and then they did it again when George Lazenby played him. They made him Australian.
Okay.
That's not true. Brad, do you like this movie?
I did. Yeah, I did like it.
Cool.
Very, very heavy on the Boston. It reminded me of other great Boston Ben Affleck flicks like what's the big one? With
Good Will Hunting.
Yes.
I was thinking that too. This movie has the exact same plot as Good Will Hunting. Where it's a
exact
fucking
It's
guy.
been a minute since I've seen that.
It's just a guy who's really smart, and all his buddies are a bunch of degenerates, and he's like, I gotta get out of this town.
The town.
Yeah, it's all
I
about
gotta get out of the
town.
town. And then fucking he gets out of the town by the end of the movie.
There you go.
It's
man.
true.
Yeah.
Florida.
Won by a life.
Florida. Yeah, he does want to go to Florida.
Meet me down in Florida. I was like, that was the line of the movie.
In one movie, it's a life of crime. In the other movie, it's a life of janitorial mathematician genius or something. I don't know.
Very slice of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I will say, talking about the characters, the fucking Jeremy fucking Renner.
Daddy. I love him.
Yeah. He's
Great
the
buzz
best
cut.
fucking actor in this movie.
He
Crushes
kills
it.
it.
He was amazing in
Insane.
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Great.
like I'm used to Jeremy Renner as like Hawkeye for the past
Yeah.
10 years, and to see him like really act the shit out of something, I was like, this is fucking great. He's nominated for supporting actor for this, and it's a shame he didn't win. I don't know. who
I didn't
did.
know that about that movie. I didn't
So
know
like
that.
Hurt Locker.
Y'all
Yeah.
seen Hurt
Yeah,
Locker?
Hurt Locker.
Great
Hurt
movie
Locker's
with him in
great.
it. I saw Hurt Locker before I saw The Town, and I was like, he's great in Hurt Locker. And I remember watching The Town and being like, well, yeah, of course he's great.
He's
in
just
this
a good
too.
dude.
You know, he
Yeah.
played Dahmer. He was like the original Dahmer.
I recall
interesting.
Yeah.
they made like 8 Jeffrey Dahmer movies, and
Yeah.
I remember him being in one of the
He could
older
do it.
ones. Why not?
But so his character, Jem,
Gem, yeah.
yes.
With a J.
Relates somewhat in my mind back to Chris, Val Kilmer's character from Heat. As in is just like the dickhead of the heist
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah, I
Hard
can
to
see that.
control, always causing a problem or two,
Right.
you know. Maybe a step or two behind the crew because he's got some bookie to pay off or whatever. But yeah, kind of the shithead low life
Yeah.
for the crew. As
He-
if they aren't all, but
He's also incredibly unlikable, but like he is likable.
Yes.
Which is like, you know, we were talking about before we were recording Killer of the Flower Moon. I didn't find any characters in that movie likable at all. Gunnar found them all like he was like, I love that they're fucking killing these Indians, man. He's all about it. But
This is the white man's country.
oh man,
they got here first. We got here first.
fresh me some scalps.
But yeah, no, Jeremy Renner is fucking, you know, he's a piece of shit to everybody, but it's like you kind of like him, you know?
He's a good piece of shit.
He's a
He's
really good
good
piece
at
of
being
shit.
a piece of
They
shit.
give him really good reasons to be a piece of shit in that movie.
That's true too.
Good
Yeah.
point.
The character has enough depth where it's like, okay, yeah, he was raised in a really shitty household, and you know, his best friend got his sister pregnant when they were like 17. His best friend refuses to believe that it's his kid, and like
He
there's a
went to
lot going
prison
on
for
there.
killing someone who wanted to kill his best friend.
Right, and now his best friend's trying to like dip away from him.
Yeah.
He's done
I'm
so
curious
much
about
for
that
this
backstory.
guy.
I'm like, I wanted to kill him. You don't get to kill him.
That was weird. It was like the one black and white scene in the movie, and it was like very stylized. And I was just like, why is this the only? I mean, I know why. It's because there was no other flashbacks. But I was
Ben
like, I would have
Affleck
liked
wanted
see
you to
more of
know
this.
it was a flashback.
Yeah. He's like, how are they going to know it's a flashback?
Oh, they'll know it's a flash.
We'll make
No,
sure.
we'll
they
know, Ben.
Yeah.
But yeah, the picture opens. Wait, I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to say about the background of the film?
The opening heist is great.
The opening heist
As
is
is similar to Heat, like I said, every
Yeah.
great heist movie has a great opening heist.
I do wonder how true that statistic was that they give at
Yeah.
the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you got to think like Heat 2 was made and based off of a time like when there was a bank robbery in LA.
2 or Heat
Sorry,
also?
Heat also. Well, Heat 2 will be also in LA
Yeah.
in the 90s, but like I think we don't really know about this. It's not talked about much, but like it used to be really easy to rob banks. They had to change this shit in the 90s because everyone was doing it. Like there's rules around how much cash a bank can have at any given time because like yeah, so I would believe that yeah, maybe there were a lot of bank robberies going on in Boston. Maybe not in the time this movie was made. I
Well,
can imagine
the movie was made based off a book that was made in 2004.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Does the
give
movie
it some
take place
leeway.
like late 2000s?
The movie's like 2000.
I think it takes place in the
2009.
day it was
present
made,
Day,
yeah.
2010.
In 2023, the idea of robbing a bank to me seems insane.
insane.
It is.
Yeah,
like
no
it's
way.
like you're gonna not
Yeah.
win.
But
Like, you're better off
they do a really
robbing
good
old
job
people.
of covering their tracks in the opening heist.
Yeah, it's a very thought out plan. They're gonna throw the trackers in the microwave.
Yep.
And they know
bleach
what time
the
hard
bleach
drives.
the
Yeah.
hard drives. Yeah.
they know what time the vault unlocks. He's like, what time does it unlock? And she's like, 9 o'clock. He's like, it's 8:15, bitch.
Yeah.
to that girl whose name we don't know.
Yes, there's very good crowd control.
Yeah.
Much better than in the second heist of Heat when they go into the bank and they're just spazzing and hitting everybody immediately. Yeah,
There's good crowd control.
they seem more professional. They seem really pro in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Which is like they're a bunch of fucking idiots, but like they're somehow
they're
experts.
pro at bank robbing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all they've ever known. You
So
know?
we're just a bunch of guys who grew up together. Just
And like
goofing
his
around
dad
banks.
did the same shit. So like
Yeah.
that's all he ever
Chris
knew.
Cooper.
Yes, Chris Cooper, Ben Affleck's dad.
I remember
Yeah.
all the male actors' names in the
Could have played hockey, but he wanted to be.
Yeah, that was
like
his
his
thing.
dad.
He couldn't skate
He
back.
couldn't skate backwards, which you don't even get to the NHL draft if you can't skate
Yeah, I
backwards.
was like, dude, that's what
He's like-
fucking set
he's
you
like,
back?
Yeah, I was drafted and I couldn't skate backwards. It's like
You wouldn't have got
even
there.
get drafted if you can't skate backwards.
Which, by the way, during the entire movie, with the accent and like the buzz cut, the whole time I was thinking they should have gotten Adam Sandler to play this role.
I would just
I can see it.
a remake with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
That could work.
Why not?
Yeah.
So
Get
yeah,
on it, Topher Grace.
they do the first heist and
Jem,
Gem.
the crew dickhead,
Yeah.
as he is so
Jemmy
affectionately
Renner.
referred to
I, was
in
saying, I
my
like to think
mind.
Jem is short for
Jem
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, Jemmy Renner. There you go, Jemmy
Jeremy.
Renner.
Yeah.
He hits the older dude in the head with the gun,
Victor Garber.
and the people at the bank start to spaz, and they decide it's a good idea to take a hostage.
Yeah.
Who then becomes the love interest
Yes.
of Ben Affleck, which is a much better way of introducing a love interest than Heat, which is, hey, I saw you at the library. It's like, no, we kidnapped you after we robbed the bank you work at, and now I'm slowly falling
they
in
just
love
take
with
her to
you.
the shore and like keep walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't they do it so they time it? They go over the bridge at a certain time. Too?
Yeah,
yeah.
because the
They-
cops can close off the bridge. It takes them like some amount of minutes to close off the bridge.
Yeah.
yeah.
The Charleston Bridge.
The Charleston Bridge.
They're
Yeah.
in Charleston.
Yeah.
Charlestown. Yeah, that's the town.
That's the town.
It's Charlestown. Yeah.
Who's Charles?
Prince Charles. I don't know. Probably a British person.
Probably some guy. Isn't it funny that America is just named after some guy? Americo Vespucci.
True. Yeah. They should have done it. What was the other? Columbia. Well, that would have been after Christopher Columbus, so it wouldn't have worked. We were almost Columbia. They almost named America Columbia before South.
United States of Columbia?
Yeah.
Is that what we would have been? Mm-hmm. Pretty tight.
What do we have all had accents?
We're all Spanish now.
Just a little flavor. A little spicy.
Way more cocaine up here.
Yeah. That's such a dumb joke, but it's so funny.
Instead of Pablo Escobar, it's just Paul Edwards.
Yeah. Paul Allen.
Now let's see Paul Allen's cocaine.
Yeah, and Jeremy Renner has a little fighting Irish
That's
tattoo.
the best.
That's the
like that's
give.
the
That's the
most
tell,
Boston
yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
Boston white
Boston
trash
guy.
guy tattoo to have is like
Never even been to South Bend in
no
his
one in your
life.
family has been to college.
No one went,
just
no
like
one in
I'm gonna get the
family went
fighting
there,
Irish.
Never even been to South Bend in his life, and he's just like, "Hey, it's the big Catholic college."
Yeah.
yeah.
The fighting
Yeah.
Irish.
Sadly
yeah.
realistic.
Yeah, Shane Gillis has a joke about that too. That his dad like has never been to Notre Dame, but he's like the biggest Notre Dame
Well,
fan.
there's a lot of Walmart Wolverines here in Michigan.
That's a
too.
good
I was
point,
gonna
though.
say I got
It's-
plenty of friends who
yeah.
love to wear the
There's
colors.
Alabama football fans that never went there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good point.
But so they kidnap her, make her walk into the river, and then they're all discussing the heist at my favorite location in the movie, the worn down hockey rink
Oh,
that
yeah.
Ben Affleck grew up skating at. And that's where they like plan their heists and shit.
that's their meeting space. Yeah.
And so yeah, they're all talking there, and Jeremy Renner is talking about the girl that they kidnapped, and he just wants to fucking kill her.
Yeah.
He's just like, no loose ends, let's just go kill
he
her.
wants to fuck her and kill her.
Yeah, and Ben Affleck is like, no, I'll handle it, I'll handle
What
it.
what a complex emotion.
Yeah.
So Ben Affleck's idea of handling it is stalking her to the laundromat and then asking her out on
Yeah.
a date.
I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
It's a really
that's how
good
I'm
way of
that's where my
handling
biggest
it.
issue with the movie comes from. Is like this dude, like, why the fuck would you fall in love with the chick that you like robbed and kidnapped?
Why would she fall in love back?
Well, because she didn't know.
She
She
didn't
didn't
know.
know.
Oh, that's fair. That's
She
fair.
doesn't know until the end, and then
Dude, she's got some
whatever.
rizz.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I was
We'll
like,
get
dude,
there.
what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Did you think she was gonna look past the hostage and bank robbery?
Yeah. And,
Yeah, he didn't even like offer her any of the money.
Yeah.
Like it'd be one thing if we're like, hey, you know,
Well,
no hard
he gave her-
feelings.
We'll get there in the end.
Listen,
Yeah,
We'll get there in the
he
end.
paid for it at the end.
Yeah. He does
fucking
his
women,
due
man. You
diligence.
just fucking pay for them all day.
He's a decent character in that movie. He's pretty redeemable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah.
So
You don't
after
think so?
Jemmy Renner wants to kill her, and then he does his thing.
Jemmy Renner.
Jemmy Renner.
Jemmy Renner. They get the second heist from another one of my favorite characters in the movie, the florist.
He'd been in a lot of stuff. Famous Irish actor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he owns the flower shop, and he knew Ben
Fergie.
Affleck's father.
Fergie,
there you
yeah.
go. Which is a hilarious name.
Why the fuck is
assuming
his name
His
Fergie?
last name is
Ferguson,
Ferguson,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, just the fact that Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas was a thing, and that
Yeah.
he's supposed to be this badass heist guy
Yeah.
named Fergie is a very funny
Two Fergies in the same
juxtaposition.
timeline.
Yeah.
Broke the timeline.
But he's a great character because he knew Ben Affleck's dad, and like he
Yeah.
knows the history of Ben Affleck's family, which Ben Affleck doesn't really know what happened to his mom.
Right.
But the florist does.
Yeah. Here's my biggest issue with that sort of character, kind of whatever, is that, spoiler alert, by the end of the movie, he kills both of them, the florists. And it's like, okay, why didn't you just do that? Like, why are these guys like a threatening presence if you could have just come in there and killed them anytime?
I don't think it's so much so of that he could have just gone in there and killed them at any time. It's that he was using them to get heists, like get the info
Right.
for heists and shit.
Right.
So, and then he wanted to do that last final heist. He needed them for the info, and then he wanted to do that last final heist and then skip out on town, but they weren't going to let him. And that's why then he felt the need
He didn't
to kill
want to
him.
do the final heist, though. They forced him to do it.
Right, and then he wanted to leave town
Yeah.
after the final heist. So like after the final heist, now he's just like,
Oh,
okay,
now
they're not
he's
gonna
skipping
let
town,
me
so
leave
he's
town.
like-
Right,
yeah.
he wants to skip town, and they're not gonna let him.
Okay.
So
I
he's
see what
now
you're saying.
he's just no choice but to kill them because that's his only way to leave town. Is
I'm not
without those
convinced,
guys
but
in
I
the
like
picture.
it.
I mean, yeah, that's the best answer I can give you.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could have just gone in there and blasted them earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
But then we
But it
wouldn't
also,
have
like, the
other
police
heists.
knew about it immediately, too. They were like, oh, Fergie's dead. It's
Yeah.
like, how do
Yeah.
they know?
He had like the drop with police or something.
Maybe.
Like I don't know.
But yeah, John Hamm is he's the
him.
FBI.
Great.
Yes.
Good in this. Very
Great in
John
this.
Hamm character.
Yeah,
Very John Hamm.
He's hateable in this movie. Very hateable.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what's funny is that the bank robbers, you like them,
Yes.
and the FBI,
Yes,
you
because
don't like them.
He's like he has no rizz with
Yeah.
the girl that Ben Affleck.
He
is
just
dating.
wants to fuck. Yeah.
he wants to fuck the girl that Ben Affleck is
Great
dating so
FBI
bad, and he has
agent, yeah.
no rizz whatsoever. So in the end,
He can't
just
even fuck Ben
decides,
Affleck's baby mama.
Yeah.
If I'm not gonna fuck,
True, yeah.
He goes from trying to fuck Ben Affleck's current girlfriend to trying to fuck Ben Affleck's baby mama. Strikes out on both of them. So then he just decides, I'll arrest the baby mama and use his girlfriend against him.
Yeah.
He goes from
He tries to pay the baby mama, too.
yeah, he
She won't
goes
take
from
his
like
money.
trying to cuck him to just arresting all the women in his life. That's his idea of cucking him.
Yeah.
Whatever works. It's a hard one to
Hamm Man.
justify.
Yeah.
With a strong 6.13 inches.
So they get the drop on the second heist, which is the Brinks truck one, right?
Yeah, that was the nuns
With
one.
the nun mask.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Before
skipping
they
over
do
the
that,
one of the
I wanted
best.
to say,
Yeah.
The best scene in the movie, always been my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
When Ben Affleck's girlfriend is like, oh, every day when I walk home from work,
These
there's these
Puerto
Puerto
Rican
Rican guys who
kids.
make noises and throw bottles at me.
Uh-huh.
And Ben Affleck's like, I think I know who you're talking about. Do they sell drugs and live on 4th Street or whatever? And she's like, yeah, they're over there. And he's like, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. She's like, no, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He's like, I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. He shows up at Jeremy Renner's house. He goes, I need your help. We got to kick some ass. You can't ask any questions. And then Jeremy Renner just goes,
Whose car are we gonna take?
Yeah, just like we need to go do violent crimes.
Whose car we gonna take?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm violent.
whose car we taking?
Yeah.
He grabs like a tire iron and a hockey mask and just
Yeah.
goes, whose car we taking?
Yeah, just all right. Let's do it. I
They
love violent
fucking
crimes.
beat the guy with a
They
hammer.
beat the shit out of those kids. And then my favorite part is
Jeremy
when he
Renner shoots
shoots
him?
him in the kneecap and he goes, say goodbye to your soccer scholarship. It's so racist. It's like, damn.
Well, it is
Well, they're Boston white guys. Yeah.
My favorite scene is when Ben Affleck is talking to the girl and he's telling her like what she should do about like about the FBI or whatever. And she's like, how do you know all this stuff? And he's like, I watch all the CSIs.
I watch a lot of CSI. And Miami CSI and New York CSI. And Bones.
Yeah. I've seen every episode, every season. I
Yeah,
love it.
which his
I love
delivery
this
is like,
stuff.
oh shit, how would I
Yeah.
know that?
He's like, Miami too.
yeah, yeah.
And we talked in the last episode about heist guys giving girls fake jobs.
Yeah.
His fake job in this movie is construction.
Well,
He's
he
like a
does do
stone-laying
construction, yeah.
Yeah, every
Right.
like month and a half he shows up.
Yeah,
for
he shows
one
up
shift
just to
so he can, do
for his taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they say that at some point that one of his crew members is like an electrician, but like he only shows up like whenever.
That's
yeah.
the kid who gets the tap into the phone system for the final heist. The ginger white trash looking Viacom kid.
There's two
Yeah,
other guys
he
in the
works
crew.
for Viacom. That's
Viacom, yeah. Vodafone, Viacom.
Yeah, so I don't think it exists anymore. I think it got broken up.
Yeah, there's two guys in the. I think the fatter guy is like a singer, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
But the other two don't matter. It's just
It's
Jeremy Renner
and Ben Affleck.
There are 2 stars of this movie.
Yeah.
The only thing
Blake
is,
Lively's a star too. I mean, she's a lot of fun to look at.
yeah, especially as like a white trash Boston
It
lady.
is
It's
fun seeing her almost be portrayed as like this
Yeah.
broken down, like battered, trashy woman. And
it's
like,
it's not very her.
yeah, it's not her at all.
It's definitely one of the less classy roles I've seen her in.
right.
Which
and
was
it-
welcome.
It makes
Welcome.
she looks good doing it. I will say.
I also think that clothed sex scenes are funny. Like they're both fully clothed.
Yeah,
and she's
yeah,
like
yeah.
on top of him. And
That
it's
is
funny.
funny. She's all hammered and she
Yeah.
shows up at his apartment. She's slamming on there, doggy,
Yeah.
doggy, and he's like watching the TV over her shoulder, and she's just bouncing up and
Yeah.
down on him. He's just like changing the channel.
He's
"Bitch,
like a
get
sober
off
guy
me."
too. Yeah.
He's a sober guy. She makes fun of him for not drinking.
Opposite of Ben Affleck in real life. Am I right?
Yeah.
He just wanted to be like, yeah.
And then once he realizes the heat is on, there's that scene where he relapses.
Yeah, I forgot
He
about
goes
that.
into that broken
He's like
down
sleeping
bus.
in a van.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like snorting some pills and he has his gun and he just like shoots it into the back of a bus. Yeah, it's a very interesting scene.
Like you do.
Yeah, it's a great way to
I
just
do
blow
feel like
it
he's like,
off.
what does a relapse guy do?
Yeah. What does a relapse guy do? He texted
Shoots
Eminem.
things.
He texted Eminem. He's like, I need some ideas for
What
this
did you do?
character I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he was. I like the scene when they were robbing the truck, and they were holding one of the guys hostage, the police. But then he shoots the guy, but he has a bulletproof vest on, and somehow the police falls down from that.
Yeah.
That was one thing where I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah, I think that was like a bang bang. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I like too, they preface, before they rob the armored truck, they preface it by saying, there's 2 people in every armored truck, and if you rob it, only one of them can get out. Because there was a double homicide 20 or so years ago where both of the guards got out of the truck. They were both murdered, and they made away with all the money.
Yeah.
Well, who did that double homicide?
was
That's
his
Ben
dad.
Affleck's dad. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it all loops back, and then, they go do the armored truck robbery.
Yeah.
And the one guy gets out, and the other guy's still in the car, and everything's going to plan. And then, what did they call him? They call him Rambo or something. The kid who gets out. Because the second kid gets out
Oh
of the
yeah,
truck.
he's like, don't be Rambo.
He
Yeah.
doesn't follow. He's
Yeah.
about to like not follow. He doesn't follow protocol. And
Yeah.
He gets out of the truck and
Yeah.
they end up both getting killed. But he calls him like Rambo or something. He's like, that kid thought he was fucking Rambo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great car chase scene afterwards too. Where
Great
they're in,
car
like, a
chase
piece
scene.
of shit Pontiac minivan ripping through the streets of Boston.
Yeah, that's
slamming
like the
into cars.
Chevy Astro. That that's or no, it's like the Roach Coach. It's like
Yeah.
the old
It's like the old
Dodge
Caravan or
Caravan.
something.
Yeah,
Total hunk of shit.
yeah. We gotta get so you can torch it.
Well, yeah, then that's exactly what they do. And
Yeah.
before they do that heist too, they go to the barber shop and get all the extra hair from all the haircuts
Yeah.
and throw it.
They
in the
really
van,
thought they
too.
should have,
Dude.
yeah.
Yeah. Like we said in last episode, they really make you think you could do these kinds of
Yeah.
heists with these movies. They make it look way too easy.
Yeah.
But that scene too, where they're pulling up to the armored truck in the minivan, and Jeremy Renner's pulling his nun mask on, and he cocks back his gun, and he makes eye contact with that like 6-year-old boy, and the kid's just like.
Yeah. And
It
then
reminds me of the scene in Incredibles where Mr. Incredible the kid's just like, whoa. That would have been me as a kid. It's just like, I want to do what that guy's doing.
It's fucking
With a
awesome.
gun.
Yeah, his job looks fun.
And then at the end of the scene, it goes full circle because they make eye contact with the police officer, and then he's just like, "Fuck it,
Yep.
I'm not."
He's like, I am
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
fucking
I don't
with
see
these
fucking
guys.
shit.
I don't
Yeah.
pay. I don't get paid enough
I
for
didn't see
that.
Yeah,
fucking
that's
thing.
above my
I
pay
make
grade.
$22,000 a year.
Yeah,
Fuck
right.
this.
Yeah, poor guy. He's at home with his wife chilling. now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
He's at home with his wife. Chilling.
He didn't step. 4 dudes with fully automated weapons versus 1 police officer. I wonder how that's going to end.
Yeah, he was like, "No, this is a canon event for them."
Yeah.
We got plenty of instances of how that ended with the Tommy gun in the 1920s. So
Yeah. He probably saw Ben Affleck's movie Run the Night or something.
I've not seen a lot of Ben
Yeah.
Affleck.
It was-
Jersey Girl.
No, he directed a movie a few years back where he plays like a 1920s gangster.
That sounds good, but because I've never heard of it, I'm assuming it's bad.
It didn't do well critically or financially, and he was mad that during the press tour, all anyone wanted to ask him about was Batman, and so
Maybe don't try to pursue a passion project during your superhero
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
That's why Tobey Maguire waited till after Spider-Man to do all the...
Also, he was like the
Babe, Boss
off-brand
Baby.
Batman. He was doing the shitty Batman vs Superman movies while
Yeah, but he was
going
gonna
to
direct his own.
real Batman.
No,
this
they
was
never
different
crossed
times.
paths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is. I thought that.
No, the Ben Affleck Batman was like almost a decade later.
No, it was a couple years later.
Dark Knight
Okay.
Rises was like 2012.
2012 was Dark Knight Rises. Batman Superman was
2016.
2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, 4 years after the
It's
best
pretty
Batman
soon.
performance
Yeah.
of all time, and we're trying to do like a shitty superhero.
Big
one.
shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to compete with Marvel.
Yeah. Well, he was going to direct the Batman movie. So the Matt Reeves Batman was originally going to be a Ben Affleck Batman, but then Matt Reeves came to direct it, and then Ben Affleck stepped away, and then they made it a completely different thing. Yeah.
Okay.
It was for the best. The
Yeah.
Batman's a great movie.
Yeah.
Great superhero movie.
That's a good movie, too.
Yeah.
But this fucking Town movie, let me tell you.
Not a single superhero.
Yeah.
No,
Well, there's a
I
lot
would
of
not-
Boston could have
superheroes.
used one.
I would not call Jem a superhero. In
There's a
this
lot of
movie.
superheroes
No.
in this movie. They're just not playing superheroes.
That's true.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hawkeye,
Like Batman.
Yeah. There you go.
John Hamm was probably a
Is
superhero.
John? He's got to be a superhero.
He'd be a
in
good
something.
Superman.
Yeah.
He would be a great Superman.
He has the
yeah.
voice and the look to be a Clark Kent type guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. But that's a great scene too, and similar to the scene in Heat, which again, the movies have a ton of parallels. But where Robert De Niro and Al Pacino sit down at the diner in Heat, and then where John Hamm brings in Ben Affleck to the police
Yeah.
station, and there's that tension where they both know, like he knows he's on to him, and Ben Affleck knows like he's on to me, and John Hamm knows he's the one who's doing the robberies, but there's no reason that they could actually arrest him. So
Yeah.
there's just that weird tension building, and
Yeah.
it'd be weird to like meet someone that's like in charge of stalking
the
your
cat
entire
and mouse.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
Leo
Tom
DiCaprio
Hanks and-
Tom
yeah.
Hanks. He's pretty much on the phone on and off the entire movie.
Yeah.
Or just missed him.
Yeah. And he was saying like, oh, one day you're gonna be like a little rat, and you're gonna come to me on your knees, and I'm gonna like tell you to fuck off or whatever.
That's why John Hamm is so dislikable in that movie.
Yeah.
He's like such a pompous dickhead and then never catches him.
Yeah, that's the thing is that he's like, when he's with the police officers, he's kind of like a soft boy, but whenever he's like confronting Ben Affleck or Jeremy Renner,
Right.
he's like, I'm hard,
guy.
nobody can
Yeah.
fuck with me. But then just like regular him, he's just like a kind of corny guy.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure there's some cops that put that face on in
Yeah.
front of criminals.
Yeah, John Hamm in this movie, get your own damn pussy, okay?
Yeah.
Keep your
Oh,
hands
yeah,
off
yeah.
of
He
me.
just keeps trying to steal other people's women in this movie.
Yeah, that's what we call a home wrecker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, John Hamm.
I do think an interesting parallel between
Ham record.
Heat and The Town was like, Heat is kind of about how like at least with De Niro and Pacino, like they handle family in very different ways. Like in Heat, family is either something you just avoid because you can't have one, or it's just like it sucks because you're a cop
And it's falling
you
apart around you.
and it's falling apart around you. The Town, everyone's like, yeah, family's important. We love our family here
and
in
like
Boston.
their boys are their family.
Yeah, the boys are the family. There's like generational bank robbers.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
even Ben Affleck like feels bad about leaving Blake Lively. Like even though he's convinced it's not his kid and he fucking hates her, he still like doesn't want to leave.
What's the
He's
kid's
like,
name?
it's-
Silver or something? Silva?
It's a dumb white trash
Yeah.
name. Yeah. I love when they're all at the cookout.
The
too.
cookout
There's
is one of the
pictures
best
taken
scenes
of
in the
them.
movie. Yeah,
And
just in
then
the
John
shitty
Hamm-
like Boston houses. Yeah,
John
like, next
Hamm
time you wanna
shows them
take a
the
picture
pictures
of
of
me.
the cookout. Yeah, and he's like, next time you want to take a picture, bring a different car.
Yeah.
They have like that little antenna on it or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, everybody in Boston knows a Fed car.
Which you would if you know.
I feel like Boston's probably one of the last major American cities to like have within city limits poor whites who've been here for generations that aren't like immigrants from like Romania or something.
You make a
I guarantee you
compelling
there are no
argument.
poor whites in New York. Nowhere within city limits.
There's
in New
there's
York.
poor whites in
No.
New York, but they came there via Ohio.
I would say, they're liberal arts majors.
Yeah. Chicago, like, there's like immigrant communities, but like in Boston, I feel like there's like fourth, fifth, like people have been here
Yeah.
a long time that are
Yeah.
still just like poor white trash. South Boston, Southies, as they call them. That's, I think, what they are in the town.
Yeah.
They're like Southies. Yeah. That's like
Charleston.
Charleston. Yeah. Like the people Bill Burr grew up with. This is in this movie. Yeah.
Racist gingers.
Yes.
Oh man.
It should be the name of this podcast.
All right. So they do the second heist.
Right.
On the armored truck, similar to Heat. They hit
Yeah.
a truck.
Well, Heat only has
stole
2
it from me.
heists. This movie has 3.
Yeah, I know. That's I will give this.
Heat is like way longer and has 1 less heist.
Yeah, I definitely give points to the town for having more heists in it.
They have the big heist at the what's it? Fenway?
Fenway.
Fenway,
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a beautiful scene, man.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
So yeah, all the planning that goes into that. And obviously, they have to go back to the florist, and they get down to the security room, and that's a really good scene too. When they knock on the door of the security room,
Yeah.
they know the guys that are working.
Yeah.
They
there,
know how much they make.
and they
Yeah.
know how much they make, their wives' names, their street addresses.
Both named Linda.
Yeah, it's like wives, both Linda.
Yeah.
If you don't want anything to happen to the Lindas, you will comply.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, yeah. And then they get pinned in the hallway, and they keep getting asked to like show ID or badges or whatever, and then they just fucking pin the guys and tie them down.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, fuck this. Man.
Yeah, they
They're not
try.
gonna let us pass. We'll just have to pin them.
Yeah, they're like, we already talked to Mike. He's
Yeah.
They're just trying to sell themselves.
Yeah, they're good at schmoozing.
It's like Ricky in Trailer Park Boys when he's just like, oh, you know, Jim. And then there's the cop. Ricky's thing in Trailer Park Boys is there's always a cop named Jim. So whenever he gets
Probably not
pulled
wrong.
over, he's like, oh, you know, Jim, I just talked to him this morning. He said I'm good to go with my car that doesn't have a plate or whatever. So yeah, they just try and pull a Ricky, and they're just like, yeah, I just talked with Mike, man.
Yeah. And they're wearing EMT uniforms under their police uniforms.
Yep.
they're doubled up.
Yeah.
It's important.
They're
Later
ready to
on,
go,
Boston's
yeah.
not a. It's they got,
Yeah.
they get winter.
Then John Hamm's just waiting for him.
He's waiting outside.
Waiting for him.
He knows it's coming.
And then who is it? It's is it the chubby kid or is it the Viacom kid who's like, fuck it, I'll just drive the truck out. They don't want me, they want you guys.
Yeah, that's the chubby guy. And then the kid gets shot in the head
Right.
by a sniper.
Because he gets hit from a concussion grenade.
Yeah,
And
and
they're
then
all
he
like,
stands
duck,
up.
duck,
yeah.
duck. And he
Oh, yeah.
can't hear, so he stands up.
I forgot about that part. Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
similarity to Heat there.
Right.
People who can't hear because they got concussed from an explosion. Yeah.
Like an idiot.
But yeah,
Fucking
then like
idiot.
a dummy, he stands up and gets shot like target practice.
Am I making this up, or when it's just John Hamm and then Jeremy Renner's going full Rambo in the end? He's behind the
mailbox?
Mailbox.
Yeah.
Is he in front of a Dunkin' Donuts?
He might have been.
He picks up like a
There's a
7-Eleven
Dunkin' Donuts
cup.
thing in
Yeah,
this movie.
there's like a cup that
He
he
picks up like a
drinks out.
7-Eleven soda and takes one last sip of it before he reloads his guns one last time and shoots.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good scene. He's like, well, I know I'm going to die. He's like, this is some lukewarm soda from the sidewalk.
that someone just dropped.
Yeah,
Someone
he's
just didn't finish.
He takes the last sip of like what is just the syrup of the Coke, and then he's like, "Fuck it, good enough. Reload."
He's like, fuck it, I'll risk herpes.
Yeah.
He probably already has herpes.
Yeah, true.
But they
Fucking
both, yeah,
worse.
they both
Yeah.
almost get away, and then John Hamm, they split up, and John
Yeah.
Hamm decides to just go after Jem.
I'll say the fits
Blows
in
his
this-
calf off.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he has that big
The big
Mossberg.
hump
Yeah.
shotgun fucks him up. Man.
Yeah. I feel like the fits and there's a lot of good track suits in
A lot
this
of good
movie.
track-
Like
yeah.
I'm like, is this how Boston criminals dress? I can
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
get down
I
with
like
that.
that more than the oversized suits in Heat.
Yeah, track suits better than '90s suit.
There's a scene where Affleck meets up with Renner in some very small diner, and Jeremy Renner has like a vintage Adidas Boston Celtics track jacket on, and
Yeah.
I was like, I would pay so much money for that.
Yeah,
but
dude.
specifically the one Jeremy Renner wore in the movie. I don't want any old vintage
I want that
Boston
Renner
Celtics
must.
jacket.
Yeah.
I want to smell Jeremy.
I want to smell the Jeremy Renner app
Yeah.
on it.
I want to smell the snowplow that ran him over.
Oh, R.I.P.
He's alive.
Fine now. He's a very Christmas person.
He's a very Christmas.
Yeah,
person.
I think that whole thing was a marketing ploy by the Marvel team.
To make him look more like a superhero.
No, to make him look like a good person. Did you guys hear about this a few years back?
Because he was like doing his neighbors. With the snowplow? Are you talking about that?
No. A few years back, there was some drama.
Let's say he had some
It
kind
got
of
like
canceled
swept
moment.
under the rug, but it was like he threatened to kill his like ex-wife and daughter
Yeah.
with a gun while
Tight.
like coked up and like, yeah, he.
Like you do.
Yeah, that's tight.
He said, I'm going to go Oscar Pistorius on your ass.
Yeah.
But then just got completely swept under the rug, and then now he's like a hero who saved his nephew from a snowplow.
Didn't he get pinned under the snowplow?
He did, but
He
I
broke
think
like dozens of bones.
Yeah. They're like, we need a redemption arc, bud.
And he like plows all of his neighbors' houses.
Yeah,
for free
yeah,
and
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. They
His agent was like, they expect one of you in the wreckage. Someone's got to get hurt by the
between him and
snowplow.
Jonathan Majors, what's gonna happen to him?
his PR agent is Bane.
Yeah. The fire rises. I got you that Disney contract.
Big Mouse says break both of your legs.
Yeah.
The big mice. They come.
Big mice. It's the mouse from the book Mouse, Maus.
Yeah. The Jewish mice.
Oh man, this is taking a turn.
Yeah.
Weren't we talking about heist movies?
Yeah.
Mouse from the book Mouse. Yeah,
Oh, man.
his descendants run Hollywood.
But so yeah, the Fenway heist.
Fenway.
They're the EMT.
Fenway hot dogs.
Yeah.
Well, because it's the final regular season game.
So that there's going to be a shit ton
Sold
of
out
cash.
crowd,
Right, yeah.
selling a bunch of beers, hot dogs. The guy says something like upwards of $1 billion in cash or something because
Yeah.
it's game 162 of the regular season. Yeah. And then after that, he goes and kills the florist, which
Yeah.
is another great scene.
Yeah. Which this heist could never happen. This
fuck
would never
no,
happen.
dude.
That was
Fuck
the
no.
one. Yeah. The first
Yeah.
two are like, okay, makes sense. The third one's like,
Stadiums have way too much
Yeah.
security.
especially even at this
Worked in
point when
events
this
for
was.
years, they're pretty
Yeah.
bulletproof.
The one who is pretending to be the ENT, he just walks straight in, and the guy just like gives him a thumbs up.
Yeah, doesn't
no.
flash a badge,
Yeah.
like an event pass or
Yeah, that's
anything.
not a thing. Maybe if it were a period piece, maybe, but not in
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Fenway heist is a little unrealistic.
You have to
I
have
will
a
say
badge
that.
for your badge.
Unless, and I don't remember, I haven't seen the movie in a couple of years. They don't have a man on the inside of Fenway, do they?
They do. They have the guy who leads them to the place, and then he's like, "You never talk to me."
Oh, the
So, okay,
security guard.
yeah, maybe,
maybe.
maybe.
If you have an inside man, there's a chance.
But
Yeah.
still.
It's
I
still,
think
there's so many people at arenas. You'd get spotted by someone.
my theory was that he struck up some kind of deal with the city of Boston. He's like, hey, we get to film in Fenway. Let's fucking do it. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
like he was just like, he wanted to do a movie there and was like, all right, we'll write it in to the town just because
Yeah, I
he wanted
wonder
to do a
if
movie
it's
there.
in the book. I wonder if
Yeah.
they robbed Fenway in the book.
Should have read the book.
Yeah, we need to start doing more prep
We'll
for
do
these.
a book club episode.
Let's just do
man.
a book podcast.
We'll do Heat 2.
Start a different podcast, Paradizo Books.
Paradiso books. I like it. Coming soon.
I'm good.
I don't read.
I have a hard enough time reading books just like that I want to read on my own.
Exactly.
I find when I get halfway through it and I'm like, damn, this was really good.
Yeah,
And
when
I
I'm
just-
reading a book, it's kind of a big deal. So.
Yeah,
You have to tell everyone.
takes me about
Put
a
on your
year.
story like you holding the book.
Takes me about a year to finish like a 300-page nonfiction.
I feel that.
What's the last nonfiction you read?
How soccer something like I forget the exact name of the title. It was like How Soccer Changed the World, something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's a very good book. It was about basically like how soccer and politics
Changed the
tie
world.
in through history. Yeah.
Nice.
Two very big influences on the world.
Yeah. They talk about that guy who got his head chopped off.
They did.
Wait, really?
R.I.P.
Yeah.
The
They
judge, the
talked
ref,
also,
and
yeah. They talked also a lot about there was an incident in Mexico. I want to say it's like the 60s or 70s where there were
Cinco de Mayo.
just referees. Like anytime a referee made a bad decision, they're just getting shot all the time,
Yeah.
all over the place. Yeah, there was
The
like
mortality
a
rate of
murder
referees.
epidemic in Mexico. Yeah.
they had to start wearing vests. Didn't it also get in like linking like the Balkan Wars to soccer hooligans?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And like Catholicism versus Protestants in Ireland and shit like that. But
I
that's
love-
got a lot more of a tie-in.
I love the idea of British soccer hooligans accidentally starting a war or intentionally starting a war. I don't know. It seems
They
wild.
Damn
they
near's
could
done
do
it, yeah.
they could do it. They've probably almost done it before.
Have you watched those Arsenal matches?
There's still crazy soccer hooliganism. I mean, a month and a half ago, I want to say, the Swedish national team was playing the Belgian national team, and like 2 or 3 Swedish fans were gunned down outside the stadium.
Holy fuck.
It was like a month and a half
In
ago.
Belgium.
In Belgium, where
That's
it's
crazy.
hard
They're not
to get a
allowed
gun.
guns. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
very hard to get a gun.
You want to know something crazy? Google the Brabant killings. That's a nuts conspiracy thing about these dudes who, I mean, kind of talking about heists, just crazy. This was the 80s, late 80s, crazy tooled up, like machine guns, and they would rob grocery stores in these very violent like robberies.
Okay.
And
That's where you got to do it.
completely unsolved. No idea how it was
Whoa.
done. No idea. But they've traced a handful of those guns to U.S. military bases in Europe in the 80s. Look this up. I'm not kidding. The Brabant
I believe you.
killings or robberies. Yeah. It's
interesting.
really
They were
fucking
like
weird.
extremely violent grocery store
Yeah,
robberies.
for like very little money, just with like crazy military guns and like weren't afraid to shoot people to death. Yeah, it's really fucking.
Maybe they
weird.
didn't.
over like a
In
couple
Belgium,
$100.
yeah. Add that when I think Belgium, I think waffles, the Smurfs,
Yeah.
and the Brabant killings. Just
Wild.
and I
Maybe
guess genocide in the Congo too.
Maybe that's like the one store that sold Lucky Charms and they were just too overpriced. You need
It's
these
like how
fucking
you
Lucky
can't
Charms.
get Prime in the UK right now.
Yeah.
Oh man,
They're
I don't know
starving
about
over
that,
there.
but yeah,
They want their Logan Paul drink over there.
No,
in
they're
the
gonna do it for
UK.
KSI. Over
Yeah,
there.
they
He's
like
Whatever reason they
KSI.
want it,
yeah.
Yeah, this Town movie. Ooh boy, sure was a good movie.
Very easy to get a machine gun in Boston, evidently.
Yeah, everyone had fucking just
like
wild
crazy
shit.
guns.
Bulletproof fucking.
And they do go to their arms dealer's house at one point
Mm-hmm.
and like give him that shoebox full of cash, but still it's like, where is this Boston suburbs Irish dude in his 60s getting fucking machine guns? Unless he has an IRA connection.
I was gonna say he's
Yeah,
buying
probably,
them back
yeah.
from the IRA. yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Well,
Now
because that's
we're
what
just like writing our own backstory to this movie.
Yeah,
Using
head
IRA
canon.
machine guns.
We're thinking about it more than Ben did, am I right?
Apparently.
that was
Ben had he was spinning a lot of plates for this movie.
Yeah.
3.
There's allowed to be a couple continuity.
Plus, he had to be
issues.
fucking married to that bitch. What's her name?
Jennifer Gardner.
Jennifer Garner.
That's probably why I thought that's who was in the movie.
Yeah,
is 'cause
maybe.
That's
they were married.
likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like an unpleasant time in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
I love his. Have you guys seen his back tattoo?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Phoenix.
Yeah, I love it.
The phoenix rising out of his asshole.
People give him shit for him. Like, that's so cool. Especially to be a Hollywood guy with that, where, like,
Like
if
a
you
shitty
ever have to be
tattoo.
shirtless in a movie, they're just like,
Which-
yeah, fuck you.
He's fucking ripped in this. He's got a fucking bod on him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When he's doing his pull-ups. Same thing with Jeremy Renner. When he was in the shower, I was like, these guys got fucking
both
bods on
got built for
them.
that
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
For no reason. They're just
there
fucking
really wasn't a
Boston
reason
white
that's
trash
it, yeah.
losers. They're fucking ripped.
Well, maybe Ben Affleck's reasoning was like, "Oh, I used to be a hockey player in this movie. I got to be in shape."
And also, to
Maybe.
be fair, if your like career is bank robber, you probably get a lot of downtime. You're like, fuck it. What else can I do aside from
Yeah,
work
it's
out?
also- You work,
probably
like,
wanna
2
be
days a
able
year.
to- You
Work
probably
in
also want to
construction,
be
yeah.
able to outman someone like a
Yeah.
security
Yeah,
guard.
I guess like pull-ups is a good skill to have as a bank
Yeah,
robber.
you can vault walls, outman security guards. You got
Yeah.
the cardio to outrun shit.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, the guns. Back to Heat though. Like for some reason, a lot of like gun guys really love Heat for like the shootout scenes, which I'm like, I don't know. I've seen better ones before, but
Yeah.
I've
we
seen
watched
bigger.
it, and me and Grant Lemkel were going full special interest. Like that's a Browning high power. That's a Galil. We could just name every gun that was on
man.
screen. Yeah.
You guys
It's
went
funny,
full
too.
Asperger's.
Yes, definitely.
Gunsburgers.
Yeah.
Gunsburgers.
Because Al Pacino, when he shoots the guy with the kid, he has a G36, and it's just like, why'd they give him the biggest, like this manlet? They gave him like the biggest gun, and
The
it
gun
just
comes up to his shoulder.
yeah,
I want the gun.
Yeah, exactly.
I want the biggest gun. But yeah, in the town, I like it's cute that with all the money he makes off the final robbery, he names the
So wholesome.
skate rink
So wholesome.
after his mom. Right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
It was cute.
Yeah.
And he refurbishes it too because it was closed down forever. Yeah. The final scene is his love interest playing kickball inside
ice,
of an
yeah.
ice. No, it's not on ice, but it's
That would be cooler.
it's on the rink. There's no ice.
Oh, okay. okay.
Yeah, it's the cement that's below the
Okay.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ice skate kickball.
Yeah.
You'd pop the ball every time you went up
Yeah.
to bat.
Well,
Right?
figure skates have a point in the front. Hockey skates don't. The blades on a figure skate does.
Okay.
But
so
hockey skates
you
are
could
just flat.
theoretically.
I say
play-
no skates.
Yeah. No skate.
Barefoot on ice.
Fans.
Yeah.
Maybe You know how like rollerblades is just one row and then roller skates is 4 wheels? What if they made ice
Blades.
skates, which is just 4 blades?
That'd be like impossible to like turn and
Wait,
stuff.
You could cut the hell out of a pizza.
Yeah.
But ice skates have 1. So then wouldn't you call them ice blades?
Ice blades, yeah.
But then
I guess.
rollerblades have the 1 singular. So they've got their shit all fucked up in the boot.
Yeah,
commuting
the fucking
community.
shoe community.
Boot commuting? Is that what you'd call it? Shoe commuting?
Shoe community.
Shoe transport?
I got really big into rollerblades a few years back, and I never done it before, but I was like, I really want rollerblades, and I still haven't gotten any, but I really like the idea of like, yeah, because I saw this French company where you send them a pair of sneakers, and they can give you like an attachment for your shoes to have roller skates.
Skates or blades?
Skates.
Okay.
And I was like, it's so fucking sick. Imagine like, you know, just walking around and then you plug in skates to your shoes and you can start skating anywhere.
Just buy Heelys.
Yeah, but Heelys look
You
fucking
can't push
gay.
on Heelys.
True.
You have to like run and use your own momentum.
No, because I came up with it because Liam, he had a pair of Heelys, but they looked ugly as shit.
They are.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
They
I
look
want
like
to fucking
Etnies.
yeah. I want a fucking sick pair of Stan Smiths with skates on them. And
That'd be tight.
yeah, I never did it, but
There's a company in the UK that does the same thing for soccer cleats. And one of my friends has a pair of Vans soccer cleats.
That's pretty
They're
sick.
very tight, yeah.
Cool.
I hope there's a real ice arena in Boston, like the Ben Affleck Memorial Ice Arena one day.
Memorial?
That'd be-
Did he pass?
No, one day.
One day, yeah, eventually.
One day when he probably,
They'll-
unfortunately, Matthew Perry's himself. Maybe it'll have to be the.
They'll
X.
name
Accidentally
that.
drowns in a hot tub.
They'll name that Boys and Girls Club rink from the town after him.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. No, I think who's he with? J Lo now?
Yeah.
They've been
Yes.
together on and
They're
off.
back together.
It's the good
I
time.
like it because it's like just this beautiful dysfunctional relationship between them. I don't know. There's something wholesome about it.
Who
They're
was
like,
she with before?
A-Rod.
Yeah, yes.
Right,
A-Rod
there it
and
is,
then
Alex
Mark
Rodriguez.
Antony. They had
Oh,
children,
yes. 2 sexy Latino men.
And then Ben Affleck.
she's
And
like,
then,
nah,
yeah,
speaks
Ben
Spanish.
She said, I'm done with these
He
guys.
speaks Spanish.
He does speak
okay,
Spanish.
there
He
you
speaks
go.
Spanish like
She
a
has a
motherfucker.
type.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like shockingly impressive.
She has a type.
Yeah, there's like funny clips you can see of the two of them speaking Spanish, and he just like speaks way better than she does.
Yeah, like it's. Yeah, I think there's
That's funny.
like in between interviews he'll do
Yeah.
for movies and shit. You'll see that too.
Did you see the video? It was like some paparazzi video of them clearly in an argument. And she goes to the passenger side, and he opens the door for her, and then just
just
slams
slams
it.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
I think I have seen
And then he
that.
looks
It's
at
very
like the
funny,
cameras,
yeah.
like, really?
Yeah,
Really?
it's
Yeah.
very funny.
That would suck.
Poor guy.
Honestly, I relate to him.
Just getting followed around by cameras all day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the Kanye
Terrible.
video.
That's
he
we
would have a
talked
much-
about that before. Yeah,
He would have a much happier life if cameras just didn't follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Because
for
every
sure.
other day there's a meme of him smoking something.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
so done smoking a cigarette.
He always looks so done.
All right, ready? Who do you guys think did a better Dunkin' Donuts commercial, Ben Affleck or Al Pacino?
Ben Affleck and Ice Spice.
Yeah,
Ice
I was gonna say the
Spice.
Ice Spice one. That's literally what I was
No,
gonna say.
dude,
Ben
I
Affleck
take
and Ice
Dunkaccino
Spice.
over everything. I love that Dunkaccino commercial.
Well, was the Dunkaccino a real thing?
It wasn't a
Could you
real
order
thing,
a
but-
I think
Dunkaccino?
it was actually.
I hope it was.
Because you can order Munchkins. You can't order.
You might be
I don't
able
know.
to, but
You can order
but
Munchkins. I know
The
that.
Dunkaccino commercial, it should have been a real thing.
They should. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why? I would have much more respect for it if he did it just as a commercial and
Yeah.
not in a fucking movie.
There's a lot of good movie commercial bits. Like commercials with- No. Like a bit about a commercial in a movie. The one that
Like in
immediately-
RoboCop?
I'd buy that for $1.
The one immediately that comes to mind is in the Will Ferrell movie Kicking and Screaming. And
Oh,
his,
yeah,
his
where
dad
it's
owns
Robert
the sports
Duvall's.
store. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Robert Duvall.
don't remember that.
We've got balls.
Oh, yeah.
And vitamins.
Yeah. I need to rewatch
My
that.
favorite probably is Soul Glow from Coming to America.
I don't remember that
I
either.
haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's great commercial bit jokes
I like
within
McDougal's.
movies.
McDougal's.
Wait, that's not coming to him. Yeah, there's
Coming to America is
McDowell's.
McDowell's. Yeah,
They're McDonald's. I'm
McDonald's.
McDowell's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Talladega Nights on Hotel TV over the weekend. Just, I'm Ricky Bobby, and if you don't shoot Big Red, then fuck you.
Another, yeah. Great. It always makes for a good joke. I don't know why.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I guarantee you there was at least one Dunkin' product placement in the town. I'm sure of it.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
probably.
If it wasn't like an intentional product placement, one just made its way into the foreground and the
Accidentally.
background.
Also, I like the scene when Jeremy Renner like comes like and confronts them on their date. And Ben
Yes.
Affleck is like trying to hide his tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a fun sitcom scene. It's like he's trying to hide his tattoo. And
Yeah, that is a good one.
yeah. All right, the battery's almost down this thing again, so let's do our final thoughts.
All right.
This movie has a lot of overcast. It might be happier if there was more sunlight. A lot of cloudiness.
I did enjoy the cloudiness.
Well,
of the
that's
movie.
because
the sun doesn't shine in Boston.
no, because she says
Charleston.
when the sun shines, it reminds her of her dead brother. So it was like a
yeah.
you know, it was a
Yeah.
That's
thing.
her problem.
was a
I like
thing.
sunshine.
Yeah, bitch.
No, I'm anti.
Well, that's why he
Sunshine
went down
Gang.
to Florida.
Yeah.
There we go.
Florida.
Sunshine State.
The town too. No robberies in Florida. Fishing off my dock in Florida. That's the
Everything
town,
normal
too.
happens in Florida.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, he just becomes Florida
Rebecca
man.
Hall.
Florida man.
Rebecca Hall.
I never
there it
would have
is,
gotten
thank God. Yeah, I never would have either.
I'm gonna put the town above Heat, just barely, just barely. Just more action, more concise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my take. I give it, town's like a
Less
4, if
screamy.
not a 4.5. It might be a little high, 4.5, but I give it that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies. It always has been. I like it over Heat as well. I think there's more character depth than there is in Heat.
Much more,
You have a
yeah.
reason to care about Ben Affleck's baby daughter instead of Natalie Portman and the whole thing that's going on in that movie. So, yeah, I like the writing. I like the directing. I think Ben Affleck hit 3 home runs.
He's got a
in
future
this
in this
movie.
gig.
Yeah. Triple threat.
Yeah. And I think we'll see you next time. Big peace.